So, in the 24 hours or so I've been off work for one day. I had one day off yesterday. And a lot has happened in Westminster, in government, in politics, in British politics, UK politics. Boris Johnson has lost his vote, or lost his fight against the vote that would prevent a no-deal Brexit without asking Parliament first. Which now means he has to either present a vote or a way of an exit that gets parliamentary support by the 19th of October, or he has to ask for an extension until January 2020. The EU have already said you won't get another extension. This is the only extension you're going to get. Don't waste time. And we spent all of our time doing precisely that, wasting time. So Boris Johnson obviously thought he could come in, beat his chest, and browbeat everybody into giving him what he wanted, and it hasn't worked. He's painted himself nicely into a lovely little corner. So he has to do three impossible things, essentially. He has to present a deal that Parliament supports by October 19th, which I don't think anybody's capable of doing. He has to then, if that doesn't work, call or ask the EU for another extension, which they're not going to grant. And then, if that fails, he has to call a general election. Now, personally, as I've said before, I don't believe a general election is right at this point. I believe the Tories made this Brexit mess. They need to own it. They need to sort it out, ride it out. Britain can ride the wave of Brexit. Whatever happens will happen. I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, if there's a hard Brexit, if we crash out, because that's what I see happening now. I see us crashing out through no choice of our own. I see the EU saying to us, right, that's it, you're out. See you later. And then all the downturn and the fallout of that will fall on the Tories' heads. And it'll be entirely their fault because they called the election for selfish reasons. And it's backfired spectacularly. They spent the last 3 years trying to figure it out, trying to work it out, figure out how to get it sorted. It hasn't worked. So Theresa May failed. David Cameron probably quite cleverly run away before he could have to deal with it. And Boris Johnson clearly thought he could just beat everyone up and browbeat everyone into getting his way. And it doesn't work like that, Boris. It might have worked like that when you were Mayor of London. You might have been able to sit in City Hall and bang on the table and beat your chest and get what you wanted. But you're the Prime Minister now. You have to act statesmanlike. You have to act like a professional. And it's not going to work. As much as your populism and your, populist ideas might resonate with your supporters in the electorate, they're not going to resonate with people in the EU, because these people are highly professional. They are top level, top notch politicians, and they just will not bow to it. So personally, I think we need to wait it out, ride it out. I know a lot of people will say, oh well, Brexit will cause poor people to be poorer and all this. Well, yes, it will, but then at the end of the day, we've always had to suffer the burden of the rich man's expense, haven't we? Look at when the banks collapsed and we had to pay that. A lot of us suffered, etc, etc. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down squarely on the rich man's heads. And I believe that it did come down on the rich man's heads in the form of the 2016 general election, because a lot of people voted leave because they thought it would be a kick in the teeth to the rich elites that made them poor. And that's essentially what it was. It was a protest vote. People thought, because they've been told it's the EU's fault you're so poor, it's the EU's fault that Romanians have taken all your jobs, and etc, etc. So they thought, okay, I'm going to vote against that. I'm going to vote against this corrupt EU. Of course, many of them, not knowing that really the corrupt ones were in our own government, in our own body, and all this kind of thing. And they were fed this stuff, and then it was given back to the Tories in the form of the Brexit vote. So that's backfired on them pretty damn hard. And now they don't know what to do. And now even Boris Johnson is calling for a general election because he wants to pass the buck. He wants to pass on the poison chalice. He hasn't been Prime Minister for 2 minutes, and he wants to pass it on and let someone else deal with it, because he knows full well he's just sacked 21 of his own MPs for not backing him, for voting for the cross-party motion to stop a no-deal Brexit. And he's taken the whip from them, including Kenneth Clarke, the father of the house. He's taken the whip away. 21. One of his MPs defected in the middle of one of his speeches, literally crossed the chamber and sat in the Lib Dem benches, which is really... The Lib Dems is like the Tory party for people who think Tory is a dirty word now. So he's lost 22 MPs. He's got a minority government. He hasn't got a majority anymore at all. And he thinks he can go into a general election and win. He's got no chance. Absolutely no chance. So we'll see what happens in the next 24 hours. I'll maybe doing another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.